Got to do something real quick before I get to this. I got sent a hat. You know, when someone sends me a hat, I put it on the wall of hats from Dalvin Colquitt, Odessa, Texas. Dalvin Colquitt sent me a hat from Odessa, Texas. Nice little Dallas Cowboys hat because of the Dallas Cowboys stuff I've been talking about here lately. So if you ever want a hat to go up on that wall, just get with me on X, a.k.a. Twitter, at OCF Productions in DMs, or you can hit me up under Jesse Paul Clark as well. But if you want to hit me up on X, it's at OCF Productions. And I'll get your address. I'll give you my address, and you can send me a hat, and I'll put it on the wall. So let's put the Dallas Cowboys hat on the wall now. First time only second NFL team I got up here. As you can see here, I also got a New Orleans Saints hat over here. So I might have to go back to the NFL. I might have to collect me a few hats, put them on a table, and be like these diva-esque recruits that are just so spoiled these days. I'm gonna get me a little table. I'm gonna be just like them. I'm gonna get me like 3 or 4 NFL caps, and I'm gonna pick me an NFL team, and I'm just gonna start watching the NFL because in the NFL at least they have rules. At least you can't go around tampering. You make them sign contracts. They can't just leave after half a year and then come back the next half of the year like Caden Proctor did at Alabama. He left Alabama, came back to Alabama before the season started. Left Alabama off for maybe 2 or 3 months, decided to come back. But that's why I'm thinking about going back to the NFL. As much as I hate it, at least the NFL has some semblance of rules, and it's not wild, wild west, and you don't have to worry about teams coming and tampering with your team and taking your shit, and then you're not getting anything, absolutely nothing in return. That's got to stop. And that's why I'm thinking about going back to watching the NFL. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about the new Dallas Cowboys ad? To the Oklahoma news of the day. Says Knowles. Jim Knowles was asked at the title game media day about the rumors of him coming to Norman. According to CBS Sports' Brandon Marcello, Knowles is focused on the team from South Bend this week. Beat Notre Dame. That's all I'm focused on, Knowles said. Why can't he just say I'm not going? You can still focus, Jim, on Notre Dame and still say, hey, I'm not going to Oklahoma. But for some reason, he didn't. So that sort of keeps the hopes up for Oklahoma that they may acquire Jim Knowles. And if they do that, that could very well save Brent Venables' job in the end, I think. Anyway, Knowles says, beat Notre Dame, that's all I'm focused on. These things happen, I guess. When you have success, players are making plays. My job is to put them in the best position, blah, blah, blah. Coach speak this, coach speak that. Come on, Jim. Give us something, brother. Just say yes or no, man. As excellent as Knowles is the defense coordinator and as great of a hire as it would be for Venables, it's unlikely the Sooners can lure him away from the Buckeyes, according to them. Knowles makes over $2 million at Ohio State, which would be a hard number for Oklahoma to match or exceed. Zach Alley made less than $1 million in 2024 for the same role. In addition, Knowles may very well be in line for a pay raise. That's probably why he's holding out. That's probably why he wouldn't say it, because he wants to sort of hold it over Ohio State's head so he can get a pay raise out of Oklahoma's open position. If Venables wants to promote from within to replace Alley, they say the top options would seem to be defensive tackles coaches Todd Bates, cornerback coach Jay Valai, and safeties coach Brandon Hall. All three, I think, would not be good hires. Why are you staying within? Why would you want to stay? And this comes from who? This is an Oklahoma website now. Sooners Wire. Sooners Wire. It's basically saying at the end that these are the three guys that they should be focused on. I disagree completely. Was the defense good enough to keep someone from within? Just asking y'all's opinion. The Oklahoma people in here. We got a lot of Oklahoma people in here right now. Or would y'all be satisfied with hiring from within? From those guys, those three they just mentioned? Just curious. Turd Ferguson is in the house. He's with a big fist bump. Appreciate you being in here tonight, Turd Ferguson. So what do y'all think? Y'all think Jim Knowles is him hauling a little bit, and maybe he's thinking about coming to Oklahoma. Because like I said off air, I talked to Jimmy Johns and a few other people about it, and they seem to think that, y'all didn't really have a chance at getting him. And if he did come here, there was some other agenda maybe. Now, this was coming from Jimmy Johns. Jimmy Johns said that he thought if they brought Jim Knowles in here, it might be because he might be coming in to take over for Brent Venables. Maybe Brent Venables' wife, who's been fighting cancer off and on for the last few years, maybe her health isn't as good as it needs to be, and maybe Brent Venables wants to step aside to take care of his wife, bring in Jim Knowles, let him take over as the head football coach at Oklahoma. It sounds a little far-fetched to me, but I've seen crazier things happen, and that was just a nugget that Jimmy Johns had thrown out there against the wall. Called him Jimmy Johns again, didn't I? Probably called him Jimmy Johns 2 or 3 times already. His name's Johnny Johns. I keep calling him Jimmy Johns, man. I guess I want a sandwich or something. Johnny Johns. Johnny Johns. That was his nugget. And but I don't think it's that. I think if Jim Knowles comes to Oklahoma as the defensive coordinator, I don't think he's probably going to get the match. Oklahoma may not match the $2 million, but Oklahoma may get close enough, like maybe $1 million and 1.2, and get it close enough to where he can come down here and make a decent salary, and at the same time make his family happy, because the rumor is that they're not happy in Ohio and they would rather be in Oklahoma. Can't blame them there. Never been to Ohio, but I've got friends that lived up there, and they say that it's not really great. Oklahoma, maybe not that much greater, but at least you're a little further south, and maybe the winters aren't as hard and cold and as harsh. I don't know. But from what they're saying, his family really liked it in Oklahoma. And if he did come back, it wouldn't just be about money. It'd be because his family wants to be back in the state of Oklahoma. Eric Taco Marino's in the house. He's got his badge. He's deputized. What do you think about all that, Eric? What do you think about Jim Knowles possibly coming back to Oklahoma? And if he's not, what about those 3 candidates that they listed on the staff, the Todd Bates and Jay Valai and the other guy, whatever his name was? Jay Valai used to be here at Alabama. So maybe they're ready. Maybe they're ready to step up as a coordinator. I don't know. You guys and gals out in Oklahoma, tell me what you guys and gals think.